Carp fishing is one of the most fun outdoor activities you can do. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to set up a carp rig and your carp rod. To start us off today, what you're going to need is some braided fishing line for your leader. I'm using spider wire at 50 pounds because I like to target larger carp. Next, you're going to need a dual snap lock. This little thing is what you're going to use to connect your weight, your main line, and your leader line. Next, you're going to need a weight. The heavier the better for carp, because the heavier the weight, the easier the carp will set itself. Next, you're going to need a nice, strong, sharp carp hook. I would recommend getting a specialist carp hook because of how tough carp are, and anything built less is going to bend out on you. I would recommend getting a size 6 hook. Next, of course, you are going to need a rod. This is what I'd recommend to most people. It is a 7-foot medium heavy with a size 4000 reel on it, spinning reel. It has 20-pound mono spooled onto it, which I believe is the best for fighting most carp. It's going to be the best for the most people. Alright, let's get started. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take a cutting of your leader line. I'm using about 2-3 foot. Mind you, you're going to want to cut off more than you think you need because you're going to lose a ton of line during this process. Alright, there we go. There's our length of leader. Now to start off the hair knot, what you're going to do is you're going to take a loop bit of line and you're going to tie an overhand knot. Now granted, you're going to want this loop pretty small because this is what you're going to use to hold your bait. Alright, there we go. You have a little loop at the end of your line. Now you're just going to cut the tag end. The tag end is the excess left after tying a knot. There we go. You have a nice leader line set up now with a loop on one end and an empty side on the other. Now what you're going to want to do is lead the empty side of the line through the eye of your carp hook from the back, like this. You're going to want to feed it through until your loop makes it through. Then you're going to want to back it out a bit. Back it out to whatever length you need. If you're using more bait or larger bait, you're going to need to leave more. Then next, you're going to take the rest of your line and wrap about 10 to 15 loops onto the shank. This is what actually holds your knot in place. Alright, now you're going to want to take the end of your line and feed it right back through the eye of that hook. Now this part can be a little bit difficult because there's already stuff into the eye of the hook. If you're using larger line like this, you might run into some problems. Alright, there we go. Now you just tied the knotless knot, which is arguably the most important knot you need to know for carp fishing. Alright, now that you have that done, let's move on to your snap swivel. What you're going to need to do is take the end of your line and put it into the small part of the dual snap lock. Like so. Then use your knot of choice. I'm just going to tie a simple uni knot, but you can use whatever you're comfortable with. 1, 2. Alright. Pull tight. Alright, there we go. You are now halfway done with your setup. Sorry, when you're using line like this, it can be a bit tough. Now, all that's left to do, take your main line and tie it onto that same small loop, like so. Again, use whatever knot you're comfortable with. I'm going to use the steel uni knot. It happens to be one of my favorite knots. 1, 2, 3. 3 loops. Pull tight. Trim your tag end. Alright. All that's left to do is put the weight into the snap lock. Open it up. put on your weight. Now you're ready to fish. All you got to do is put on your bait of choice. Alright guys, that was how to set up a carp rig, and I'll see you all on the water.